There is another question that we have here, and it asks, I don't even know if I want to ask this, but what is your role in the weekly meetings of the City Council?
My role?
Each person will answer that.
My role is to provide legal advice and counsel to the City Council, and so to make sure that they're governing lawfully.
But if you haven't been to a City Council meeting, also Karen's role is it's like a referee, right?
No. I don't like to say referee.
You don't like that
I
word?
also have additional duties as the parliamentarian to help them make sure that they are conducting their meetings not only in compliance with their rules, but in compliance with state law, the Texas Open Meetings Act. There are specific requirements under state law that says, first of all, how their meetings have to be posted, what the notices should say, the timeline for when they need to post that notice for the public's information, and then how they conduct themselves during the meetings as far as making sure that they're following the notices that have been given of the items that have been posted.
And she does that every week.
And we do that every week, and it's just not me. It's me and my staff who help the council work through those issues.
Why don't we turn to this side of the panel for your role in the weekly meetings, and then we'll come back to you, Ed.
The planning department's primary role is to carry planning-related items through the Planning Commission and to the City Council. My former boss, Greg Guernsey, spends a lot of time in front of council, and his role is to provide information about those applications, whether they're rezoning requests or appeals or anything that needs to go to the City Council to render a City Council decision. He's there to explain the request, provide context, how it relates to previous requests, and the process. And Austin's process is complicated, so he's kind of an information person, the details of the application.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is amazing is how they have to be on their feet and ready to answer any questions.
That's right.
With data, with whatever is required.
And that's going to change. I did work for Oklahoma City in the 90s that had an 8-1 system, mayor at large, 8 council members. And I was planning director in the 90s for Oklahoma City, so I was the Greg Guernsey for that city. Our role was a little bit different. We constantly had to emphasize that we worked for the entire city. We didn't work for an individual council person, but in terms of information, we did try to divide the department up so we had very knowledgeable people by district. And those knowledgeable people by districts, I think if you have a smooth working relationship, develop relationships with the council staff and trust. So all those things are part of good government will come into focus. And there's nothing wrong with having experts at City Hall in the various districts so the council district members can rely on those folks.
Yes. So something to keep in mind for our change. What about your role in the weekly meetings, Ken?
I really don't have one. Actually, I go.
Talk about independence.
I do go before the City Council at their request to either make a presentation or to take direction from them. And occasionally, if there's a need for me when there's budget proceedings going on. But as I tell people, our budget compared to the rest of the city budget is like dust in the wind. It's very little. Where we normally interact with the City Council is through the Audit and Finance Committee. And that's where we issue audits, get direction for the audit plan, and deal with any other matters that come up at that point.
Wonderful.
And also on, we have a lot of contact on a daily basis with their staffs and with them.
Yes, but not so much on the weekly meetings. How about you, Ed?
Well, personally, my annual 15 minutes of fame with the City Council comes in August and July when we're moving very rapidly towards budget adoption. We deliver the budget to council typically end of July, early August, and then we go through a number of work sessions and public hearings and ultimately what we call our budget readings in mid-September. And so I spend a lot of time with council during those 2 months. I mean, getting a little bit broader and looking really at what is the financial services department role in the agenda. any purchasing items that are on the agenda, any contracts in excess of the city manager's authority, which is currently $53,000, they all have to go before council. So if it's a small little contract for $20,000 with some firm, the city manager has the authority to just enter into those contracts. But anything over $53,000 has to go before council. So on any given agenda, you'll see a whole purchasing section with a whole bunch of different contracts and purchasing items that are going to be considered by the city council. Anything pertaining to issuing debt, the financial services department is going to touch. Anything pertaining to a budget amendment or appropriating new funds, the budget office will be involved in, financial services will be involved in. So that's my role, and then more broadly, the financial services department's role.
So you're not at every weekly meeting, but during budget times, they see you every week, and then every so often.
Either myself or our chief financial officer, one of us is at every single meeting, because there's never a meeting where there's not some purchasing item or
Right.
something pertaining to the budget that we need to be there for.